So today we're going to be going over Bitcoin. We're going to talk about the technical analysis and what's most likely to happen soon for Bitcoin as in terms of the price. So we're going to go ahead and look at this. We're also going to just go ahead and look at some technical indicators, explain what exactly is going on, and we're also just going to make some speculations as to what is going to be going on with Bitcoin inside of the near future. So definitely go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Leave a like and comment, all that good stuff. And also definitely check out chartprime.com, link in the description if you want these technical indicators. I'll explain what exactly is going on with these indicators in this video. But anyways, go ahead and do all that and let's get started with the video. So we're going to be talking about the technical analysis here with Bitcoin. And the first thing that you really want to look at is what we've been doing in the overall crypto market in general. Everything's been kind of flat. Obviously, we've been having meme coins like Dogecoin doing random pumps, but in general, everything has been very stagnant, which is a good thing. You know, we've been leveling out. We've had a crazy last few months, but we've been having pullbacks, we've been having pumps, and now it's kind of like that pullback territory. Within the last 30 days, we've just been doing nothing but pulling back, and now we're about down to 29K, and there's a possibility that we could be going a little bit lower than this. So you definitely want to pay attention to what happens next, because we had a really nice pump going from the middle of June all the way up here towards the end of June, and then it just started to pull back from there. Wasn't a big pullback, but it still did pull back. And look at what happened the last few times it's happened within the last 180 days. We usually had a little pump followed by a pullback, and then we had another major pump here and another one followed by a pullback here. And the pullback looks like it's typically lasting around 2.5 months, give or take 2.5 months. So if we look at this from June or the end of June all the way till now, then quite possibly we should be pulling back until about late August, maybe even early September. So that's what I'm looking at here right now for Bitcoin. That's if we're going to follow the same pattern to a T. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to actually follow this pattern, but we have been following it until now. And you can see exactly how it's been going since November of last year. We've just been pumping, pulling back just a little, pumping, pulling back some more, pumping, pulling back some more. So it looks like we have some more to pull back before we continue to pump here in Bitcoin. And to kind of confirm this all, we have our indicators here. So this is what we're going to really be going over now. So first of all, you can see here the momentum wave bands, which are these green and red bands here for the chart prime indicators. They're pretty much showing us that we're about to have another pullback. And actually, you can see here right now that we're slowly but surely inching there, because right above here where you see these green lines, they're pretty much showing us that these are our support areas. And if we break that, we're going down to the momentum wave band, to this next white dotted line. And it's pretty interesting to look at, because the white dotted line followed by this wedge pattern here is over here for the Market Dynamics Pro for Chart Prime. So if you take it off, you see that's that area there. So if you want to find this, if you want to sign up for these indicators, link in the description, they would be found here with these triangle patterns, the broadening wedge patterns. You have double top patterns, you have double bottom patterns, you have the head and shoulder patterns, you have inverse head and shoulder patterns, you have swing fail patterns. So you have a lot of these different patterns for Chart Prime. And just to kind of show you a cleaner chart, we can go ahead and pull up the Coinbase chart, because I have not drew all over that chart there. But all those drawings that I did on the chart for our supports, our trend lines, our resistance levels, I actually did all those manually before I got these indicators. And then it's funny because they actually lined up exactly on, like, perfectly with the indicators. So it's pretty interesting to see how spot on and accurate the indicators could be. So anyways, looking at this now, we're looking at this pattern here, and what this pattern right here is called, they have it right over here. This is our triangle pattern. Now you could get any other pattern you want. You could do your broadening wedge pattern. So if you look at the broadening wedge pattern, that's going to be a little bit further back here with Bitcoin. So there's a lot of different of these patterns that you could really go for. But me personally, I just like to look at this one pattern here, because if you look at this little triangle pattern here, it really gives you a good look into what's about to happen next with Bitcoin, and it really shows you the short term, like, very, very very well. So, anyways, looking over here at the double top pattern, you can see that's all the way back here. So this is the double top pattern. It pretty much is showing you when you're about to have that pullback once you have that double top. And it happened there, so you had that pullback. It happened there again, so you had that pullback. So these are pretty good indicators if you want to use them. So what we're seeing right now with Bitcoin, after Bitcoin did that, it really did have a nice pullback, but then it hit the bottom of that green momentum wave band. And when it does that, that's pretty much indicating that we're about to have a lot of momentum to the upside because it's hit that bottom. More green is showing up in this area, meaning there's more demand in this area, very high demand area. So then you typically end up going up from there. So once you get to the red area of the momentum wave band, that's when less demand starts to happen. So then you start to follow these green lines downwards and so on and so forth. So we've been doing a pretty good job here inside of Bitcoin. And lately it's been a little bit stagnant, but another big movement is probably about to happen soon for Bitcoin. So the first thing I do want to mention here with Bitcoin, after you're looking at this area here, so we've already hit the momentum wave band once, right? But we kind of just traded sideways since hitting that momentum wave band. So we broke out of this triangle pattern here on a negative downtrend. I do believe that we're about to have another pullback down to this dotted line right here. And that's pretty much where the triangle pattern is predicting it to go. And that's the triangle pattern here with chart prime, which again, like I said, is over here. So it is showing that this is probably going to be the next area for us to go and hit. So very good areas for us, very good support. And from here, I think we could go back down to the bottom area of this momentum wave band. It does seem like even up here, you can see the red area, the low demand area for the wave band is showing that it's slowly but surely inching downwards. So I think this one is going to probably start facing downwards as well. And this is where it's going to end up bringing us a little bit lower inside of the market. So I think we're going to have some pullbacks coming up here soon. And as for the oscillator down here, this is the prime oscillator for chart prime. You can see that it's showing that we're actually about to have some selling going on because we're at the top area of this oscillator. And now we're probably about to have another one of these red selling patterns going in. Typically, the red areas come whenever we have selling inside of our oscillator. So that's pretty much what we're seeing here. It typically goes down inside of a red selling pattern. So I think that might actually be what's about to happen now because you can see it's been up for a while. So I think we're going to end up going down because we've been trading sideways for a while. That's what you're seeing here. It's just been trading sideways. So I do believe a pullback is about to happen here very soon for Bitcoin. Now, this is the 4-hour chart. And lately I've been looking at the 1-week chart. The 1-week chart looks insane right now for Bitcoin. And I'll tell you exactly why. Because there is a huge possibility that we're actually right at the end of I won't say a pump, but we're really right at the end of a good little mini bull run, if you want to say. So we actually have a triangle pattern here picked up by the chart prime indicators, and we had our buy signal, right? We had a nice little buy signal here, and this is where they set the buy. But look at where we've came from since that buy signal. If you look at the oscillator, it's really been up here for a while, and typically when it's been up for a very long time, we typically have those pullbacks. I predict that there's going to be another major pullback, and we're literally nearing the end of this triangle pattern, which is very interesting to see because it definitely looks like a pullback is going to be happening soon. So if it does, I mean, I don't know if you all believe it's going to go down. But me personally, I'm seeing this buy signal, but I'm seeing that this buy signal has recently ended. So if you look over here, we had a good uptrend, right? We had a very good uptrend. And I think that this is going to lead to us pulling back a little bit. You know, we had a nice uptrend, but we always need pullbacks, right? Pullbacks are very healthy. It's looking like we're nearing the end of this triangle pattern. So I do believe that we're probably going to end up having a pretty big pullback here for Bitcoin. Now, typically these buy patterns, and they don't last for as long as you would think. Just like what with the one back here in 2019, it lasted for a pretty good minute, but then it pulled back. So this is kind of what's looking like what's happening now. Obviously, this one was a huge, strong pattern, but notice how it doesn't say buy. It says strong because this indicates that it's a strong buy, meaning it's going to go up way more than what you think is going to go up. So we're also seeing here, this is just a buy. It's not a strong buy. It's just a buy. Because if you would have bought right here where they told you to, you would have bought at 21.8K. And now where we are now is 29K. We got all the way up to 31K. So it was just a buy. And yeah, you could have got a cool what was that, like 11K, you would, or a 10K increased all the way up to 31K. So if you would have bought Bitcoin at 21K, you would have made 10K if you would have had a whole Bitcoin. So yeah, that was a good buy signal. But I think a sell signal is probably about to be thrown up here now, and we're actually getting rejected here at the top of this triangle pattern. So predicting a nice little pullback here. But yeah, if you're wondering on the indicators, link in the description for Chart Prime. You can go ahead and check that out now. And yeah, they're pretty good indicators. And one thing I will say is that it pretty much comes stock good. Like they give you it right out the gate. And when they do that, all the indicators that you need are already marked. So you really don't have to worry about any indicators that you're not too sure of. Now, you could, if you want to go ahead and get a little bit more difficult with these, we have a lot of alerts down here, which will send you alerts, bullish alerts, swing fail upside alerts, triangle slash wedge upside breakouts. So it'll go ahead and send you alerts if you want. That's for the Market Dynamics Pro, and as well as all these different indicators. And if we were to turn them on, you would see a lot more movement on the charts here. That's if you want to have all these micro movements, and they're actually very good for your smaller term charts. So if you want to look at like the 15-minute chart, all these little micro indicators, they will really help you track your trades. So it's pretty nice because when these triangle patterns start like this, you can see how they start, and they literally follow straight to a T all the way downwards. So if you would have sold at the start of this downward triangle pattern, then you would have had a pretty good game, right? You would have just, maybe if you were doing futures and you shorted the market, then boom, you could have shorted it all the way from 29K, well, 29.3K, all the way down to 29.2K, which is a pretty good gain if you're doing like 20x leverage or something like that. That's typically what I do. I like 20x leverage. But yeah, these patterns are very, very nice here with Chart Prime for the short term, for the long term. They have very, very good patterns. Now you can do anything you want with them. The momentum wave bands are these ones here, which is inside of Market Oracle Pro. And that's what we've been using pretty much this whole time, the momentum wave bands. So they're pretty good. And then you have your prime ranges as well. Those are also very, very, very good. You have your candle structures if you wanted to go ahead and turn on candle structures. And again, the prime wave or the prime range is these green and red lines that follow the charts. So that's what you want to look at whenever you mark that. So yeah, there's a lot of good things that you could do with these indicators, and that's why I like to use them. But also, moving on from that, I wanted to show you something else here. So first, let's take off all of these. And it's kind of something with how the market's been moving lately. It's a pattern that I've been noticing. And I really do think there's about to be a pullback here, and I'm about to solidify why I believe there's going to be a pullback. There's no reason why we shouldn't have gotten another pump here for Bitcoin. And let me take off the indicators just for a short moment here. So what I'm saying is that there's no reason we shouldn't have another pump coming in soon. And what I've seen is when we bottomed out here at 16K, we had very nice pumps, but our pullbacks were just as big. So it's typically a 5 to 6K pullback. So what I'm thinking here is that we pull back by 5K from 31K. And we've already reached 31K. If we were to pull back by 5K from 31K, we could get all the way down to 26K. So I think that we might be pulling back down to maybe a 26K level. I know this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think that would actually help us if we pulled back to 26K. We would have more momentum. We would be able to build more momentum if we pulled back to 26K. And also look at this prime range here. This prime range is very telling. Look at that, right at 26K. If we were to pull back to 26K, we have good support there. So I think 26K is a very good area for us to pull back. But anyways, this is all I got for you all today. Let me know what you think. Hit the like button and subscribe, all that good stuff. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, none of this is financial advice. If you want these technical trading indicators, definitely check out Chart Prime. Link in the description, best trading indicators on TradingView. So definitely come here and check that out. Link in the description. And as always, I'll be back with another video.